Welcome back to Good Day State Line. We are in this beautiful house with John Krause from Gambino and also Warren Swanberg from Blackhawk Bank. And we're going to talk about buying a home if you need to buy one or you want to buy one, but like how some other factors might really have been fitting into your plans and maybe making them a little bit more difficult.
There's always a way.
Yeah.
And times have changed. With COVID, some people got laid off temporarily, and employment is a big factor in qualifying for a loan.
Sure.
But being laid off doesn't have to be the end of the story. There are ways that you can still perhaps qualify for a loan, or at least, if nothing else, we can get you ready to qualify for the loan. So many products, so many techniques, so many rules that change all the time. When people ask me, can I do it? I don't know. Talk to Warren Swanberg. And so we've got our good friend Warren Swanberg from Blackhawk Bank here, and he's going to explain the different choices and options that might be available if somebody's been temporarily laid off.
Sure.
Warren?
Okay.
Thanks, John. So COVID has obviously affected everybody in different ways. So with people being laid off, it's created quite the challenge for us as lenders to be able to review a file and see ongoing income. So one of the most important things that we've discussed in the past is you want to make sure you get in and talk to your lender and provide documentation early on. It's best to be forthcoming with all this information because throughout the loan process, we're going to definitely have to review it.
Sure.
Every situation is unique. Everybody's employment changes are different. Their returning hours are different. So as a lender, we really have to review both the information prior to being laid off, how long you were laid off, and then obviously what the expectation of income is going forward. So there's what's called ability to repay, and we take this real seriously. We always want to make sure we review this early on because the last thing we want you to do, and what you may see in some online lenders, is just providing the pre-qualification letter. And then after you find a home, some of this comes up and then you're scrambling for both documentation and obviously you have the chance for the loan to be denied. So it's important to speak with a very educated lender, experienced lender, so that way they can get that information and review it early on.
Yeah, I mean, most things in life, right? You got to put the work in at the beginning, and then you have less work to do at the end. That's what I've learned. It's like that's the best way to do it. You don't want to get that letter from a random internet search that brings you a loan, and then all of a sudden you realize that you only did like 5 seconds of the work and you have so much more to go, and then I bet they end up having to call you anyway.
Yeah, and it's painful. It's a lot of documentation.
Yeah.
We're only doing things that we're required to do. Obviously, it's not fun providing the documentation nor asking for it, but it's important to actually have it looked at ahead of time because too many times does it happen where people aren't researching that information.
Sure.
And whenever you're buying a house, you got a lot of stuff going on. You're preparing, you're packing, you're talking to family members. The last thing you want to do is scramble around looking for that paperwork from maybe taxes a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So it's good to have it done early on, even though that it is stressful.
And if we're truly talking about people who were laid off as we've been going through this pandemic, I always say one of the best silver linings of this is, guess what? Everyone knows what you're talking about. When you explain, well, we had this pandemic, you're like, yeah, I know, I was there too. So at least there's more of an even ground for beginning the conversation, as opposed to anyone else. But I'm pretty sure you can probably take care of whoever needs a loan based on their needs.
And the great thing is to have that conversation early on, because if it's not now, we can tell you when. So that way you can prepare yourself better going forward when you're going to be able to buy a home and get yourself better financially set.
Well, and like we've talked before with John, having to do that first, because what if you do have to wait 6 months because of the loan process, but you're already looking at homes and then you fall in love with the house and then 6 other people buy it before you. So you really want to start in the right direction to just kind of make sure you're not missing out on the opportunities that you want, right? Because you're not ready.
Buying a home is one of those big events in anyone's life. Having a baby, getting married, and buying a home. They all tend to be psychologically at about the same par because it is such an emotional decision. And what a letdown if you have your heart set and you're imagining your Christmas tree going to be in the corner over here, etc., and then you get the bad news, you're going to have to wait a couple more months for certain things to happen. So if you do this first, you're going to avoid disappointment, and maybe that better house for you will come up on the market just at the right time when you're ready.
Plus, I love that you guys are such good partners so that, if someone does call you, John, you know exactly who to send them to, and you're going to work together to make it happen instead of, having to work with so many different ways to try to build your dream home and get it all ready. You guys, we're best friends. We got this.
It's complicated, but between us, we can make it easy.
Coming up next on GDS, we are trying hot and saucy hot sauce with a hot sauce lover.
Yes, indeed.
97 ZOK, Steve Shannon. Don't go anywhere.
The preceding segment was sponsored by Gambino Realtors.